That comic podcast.
Hello. Welcome to That Comic Podcast. I'm your host, Menti. And with me, as always, are my wonderful sidekicks. First, Mr. Mosh Code.
Can I kick it?
Sometimes. And then... Oh, wow. Okay. Yes, you can. Just
What's going on?
Right there, P-Features. Just jumping in.
Hello, Internet.
There he is. And then there's Buzzington.
Can't even get it out.
What's up, yo?
I know, Buzzington is not the best.
I'm back to the return.
Especially adding a chainsaw after Buzzington. Either they just don't feel right, but it yet somehow does. And then there's Baby Huey.
Yeah, what's going on?
Hey,
Let's
buddy.
get this. Let's just go.
How
Come on,
are you?
let's go.
It's a good day. Like what
Running
are we
a
doing
tight
here?
ship.
We're not. What are we
Tight
doing?
ship. Let's go.
Everybody.
Come on.
Just slow it up.
Bases
Slow
loaded.
it up. We've got a lot. It was a great week for comics, and it's been a great week for news. We have a lot of things that we want to get through, and I'm guessing
That's why
what
we need to get
Baby
going.
Huey, go back to producer mode. Stop talking. I'm trying to do the intro.
Let's go. Come on.
Oh my good God. All right, well then let me just get through this real fast for Baby Huey's sake. Obviously, we saw what was going on with Marvel and their 5-hour stream, letting us know how amazing the Doomsday cast looks like it's going to be. Plus, a lot of people missing. And then we also got a really cool Marvel game that's coming out this year on top of that. Black Panther and Captain America game that's supposed to be coming, so that's pretty cool. We also got some really cool set photos from Daredevil Season 2 that's making my heart scream with joy. And then some kind of back and forth news on John Wick / Blade. I don't know what's true. I don't know what's fake, but we'll go into that as well. And then a grab bag of stories, so much so that we are probably just going to be rattling off a whole bunch of things because a lot happened this week. A whole lot happened this week. But before we get into any of that, let's talk about by far the most exciting thing, which is the Doomsday cast, because that casting changes everything.
Yeah, it's really relative to the viral pictures that went out.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Well, first off, did we all watch the stream?
Oh,
no.
yeah. All 5 hours of it?
Well, I mean, it ended up getting like 275 million views. Now, that's probably not succinct. It's probably tuning in every once in a while just to see where the names are at. But for anybody who missed it, and I'd be shocked if you did, but it was literally a 5-hour stream where they just showed a bunch of chairs. But it was one of the most exciting set of chairs we've seen in a row in a long time.
It was the equivalent of an NFL draft.
Kinda. And let's be honest, the first, I don't know, hour and a half, it was like, yeah, we got it. We got Chris. Yeah, it was Chris Hemsworth. It was like the Avengers. It was Anthony Mackie. It was who you would expect to see. Then it started getting a little wild with getting the Thunderbolts in there, which is a little bit of a spoiler for the Thunderbolts movie. But that aside, we got a bunch of the Thunderbolts coming back. But where it took a turn was all of a sudden getting a lot of the original X-Men back. That's what changed. When Patrick Stewart's name come out, that I lost it. I was like, all right, now I have to pay attention. Are we excited?
Yeah.
Oh,
yeah.
Well,
Curious too.
Whoa.
Wait. Well,
Moscow.
I mean, I'm sure we'll get into it a little bit more, but I'm interested to see like who. There's a whole lot of names that weren't mentioned at all, and the big one is certainly Tom Holland. For whatever I say about him, you would expect him to be in this movie. Are they keeping this close to the vest on who's going to be in? I think we're going to get more because there's it's not D23, it's something else. I forget what convention or what thing it is, but it's a Disney thing, and that's they have to have announcements for that.
Well, I mean, let's also just take a second and kind of recatalog the rumors that were leading up to this that we all thought were separate projects. Because we've been talking about an Avengers vs. X-Men movie on this show for like a year and a half, if not longer.
Right.
Like that's been rumored that we've kind of been floating around like it was going to happen in Battleworld after the Doomsday movie, and it was something that was like on the docket, but nobody knew about it. Well, that's actually not the case. It seems like it's going to be Doomsday, obviously now, and how it influences that story changes a lot as well. Because with Robert Downey Jr. playing Dr. Doom, that's a big storyline all in itself. Like if you thought juggling the last 2 movies worth of characters was wild, this is a whole different level because you can't just sideline the the X-Men, and you really can't sideline the Avengers, although I'm sure that's what's going to happen. It's going to be mostly a Doctor Doom X-Men story, I'm going to say, by the end of the day.
Yeah, I was going to say putting those names on the chairs kind of solidifies their place like in the film. It's not going to be like a walk on, walk off, like a surprise thing. Like it looks like they're a part of that storyline.
Well, and the rumor is that it's going to be the universe that we saw Monica Rambeau go into. So at the end of the Marvels, Monica Rambeau is stuck in that world where she meets the binary version of her mom, and we see Beast, which was a really big reveal. That is apparently the catalyst of the story. So if any of the rumors are to be true, how it's all going to take place is that her being there is going to cause an incursion, and Doctor Doom is going to kind of stoke the flames of those two final universes fighting to eventually seize control through the chaos. So he's going to push the X-Men into fighting the Avengers, as a la what we saw in the comics in Jonathan Hickman's Avengers and New Avengers, when the incursions were happening and the Ultimate Universe had to fight the regular 616 universe, and then just everyone died anyway. That's kind of what the rumors are speculating is going to happen here, where Robert Downey Jr. is going to really play off the fact that he looks like Iron Man to try and show himself as an ally and trying to become friendly with both sides, but make sure that they fight so that way he can grab control at the end. Kind of a cool
Makes
idea.
sense.
I kind of like it.
It works.
Cool.
Definitely works.
That one issue, that one standalone where the Ultimate Universe and the Marvel Universe fought was phenomenal. Do you guys remember how Deadpool ended? Because remember, everybody was told they had to end all their books, and Deadpool was like, Deadpool's finally going to die. And then he kills everybody in his story, and he's like, the only person left to kill is Deadpool. And he takes off his clothes, and he just kind of leaves it there. And then he's on a yacht, and he's like, I'm no longer Deadpool. This is great. I'm with my family and friends. And then he looks up, and another Earth is crashing into the planet. He goes, oh, wait, we didn't fix that? And that's the way his book ends. The best Deadpool ending. And how cool would it be if that's the post-credit scene?
Yo.
I mean, they could do that now.
That they could.
But going to what you were saying a second ago, Moshko, didn't they tweet? Actually, I think Baby Huey, you showed this in the group chat. Didn't Robert Downey Jr. say that's a lot of names, but then Marvel said
there's
more.
more.
There's
a lot
more.
to come.
There's more.
Yeah.
So who's missing? Who's notably missing outside of Tom Holland?
Chris Evans.
Mark Ruffalo's
Yeah.
probably the biggest one.
That's a huge one. That's a real big one because
Really, Doctor Strange too. You know what I mean? Because he was in those drawings.
well, I think the idea for Doctor Strange is that he is going to be with the Black Priests in Doctor Strange 3 while this is going on. That's going to help lead into the incursion. So we'll probably get some kind of a Doctor Strange 3. Oh, no, they wouldn't be getting Doctor Strange 3 first. That's wild. I guess not, because I would assume they would probably use Doctor Strange 3 to better explain the incursions, because the incursions have been just kind of wavy. You know what I mean? They've just been like, oh, by the way, if you're here too long, everything's going to fall apart.
Yeah.
It's like, well, why?
I mean, one name I'm looking for, which they have M'Baku. There's no Shuri.
No, sure.
No Black-
Shuri's there. She's
Shuri was on there.
announced.
Yeah, Shuri was there.
Letitia Wright,
Did
she had a chair.
She was like the 5th or 6th name.
Did I miss her name? Oh,
Yeah, she
okay.
was
There.
there.
She is.
A lot of
Never mind. I take it back.
But there's a lot of X-Men who aren't there as well. I mean, the most notably is Wolverine. And now
He'll be later.
But here's a rumor that we heard before that they were going to make an X-Men movie, but Wolverine wasn't going to play a big role, but Channing Tatum was going to come back. And here we go. Channing Tatum's coming back, and X-Men and Wolverine, Hugh Jackman's not announced. So it seems like a lot of those rumors were true. We just all assumed they were separate properties. It was just all for Doomsday.
Yeah.
Yeah. So with Channing coming back, are they pulling that into the void space again? Is that what they're going to be utilizing?
Well, I think he's
Interesting.
going to be a different variant. I mean, the rumor is that universe that we saw Beast will be a quote unquote Fox universe, but they will be a little bit more comic accurate looking. So it's going to be an amalgamation of all the Fox teams that we've seen so far that kind of fit within the age range of having like the original Cyclops come back. Go ahead.
With like all the X-Men 97 uniforms that we were clamoring about.
Well, we don't. I don't. Who knows what they're going to go with? Probably, I would assume so. But the goal would be to give us the best of the best from the Fox universe to have this be the final hoopla, where I'm gonna guess everybody dies. I'm gonna guess most people don't make it out of this because at the end of I don't know. The incursion's going to happen, and we're going to get Battleworld. We know that's the thing, and we know there's going to be multiple movies that take place in Battleworld, which also might be be part of the reason why Tom Holland's not in the cast list, because while he was supposed to be the lead of Kang Dynasty, we've heard nothing about Doomsday. So Sony could have pulled some crap like, no, we want to save him for our big moving, and then you could throw him into Secret Wars, and then this is more about the X-Men crossing over with the regular 616 Avengers, because I think that's enough of a pull on its own. Like Spider-Man, I don't think is necessary for that.
I agree. Yeah, I think when you're getting to A versus X type deal, they're coming back. They want to come back strong with the MCU stuff. You've got to just go, balls to the wall and put everybody in it. And seeing the reaction that people had with Deadpool, Wolverine cameos, even though they were cameos and had some small, plot lines, they're going to try to probably, ramp up on that same type of fan base reaction.
Absolutely, and I think it's a win. It's crazy. I've seen a lot of accounts that are saying stuff like fan backlash. I don't see any backlash.
I don't either.
But I see a lot of people pushing, like there's some angry mob who's upset about this casting. This casting is one of the most exciting things to happen to the MCU, and I mean Deadpool, Wolverine. I mean, to be fair,
yeah. It's been said for the last couple of years now that the MCU is dead. Well, this you had 275 million hits / people watching for 5.5 hours of chairs.
Yeah, that should tell you something. You know what I mean? Because they're all hanging on, waiting to see who's going to be in it.
3.1 social media messages or mentions. Excuse me. That's wild.
That's pretty solid.
The video itself is up to 8.5 million on their YouTube page.
That's crazy.
Wow. I like how
that's the reshare after it was live.
Oh. Well, according to Deadline, they did some crazy numbers. Just on X alone, they for like 7 hours straight, they were trending number one, well past well past the actual stream time.
Here's the crazy thing, and I want to know if looking into obviously YouTube information a lot recently, that's 275 million views / streams. This thing went live for 5.5 hours. Live streams that are monetized basically get the most bang for your buck. You will earn the most from that. So I'd be interested on what they kind of pulled in from that too.
Well, and what a great way to try and market or capitalize a little bit further off a franchise that you kind of need to be a win.
Yeah, you need it to be a win, and like the leak of the concept art kind of hit them, and so this I think is like their way of like being like, all right, well here is everybody. You know what I mean?
Honestly speaking, with metrics like those, it's when people say that the MCU is dead, it just seeing those numbers is kind of like it never was. I think people were just overly frustrated, and now we have something to really be excited about, which is great.
Well, yeah, dead's just a dumb word, and it's a word that gets people jazzed up, but it's not dead. People just lost interest. But something like this brings everyone back who's had interest. Like none of us wanted to say goodbye. No one wanted to be upset at the MCU, and I think some of the reasons that people are upset are just for clickbait, to be honest.
Of course.
But I think, but there was a lot of legitimate gripes, so I understand why people had checked out. But those people that checked out but loved the first 10 years, this is something for them to be really stoked about. And the way it connects and merges multiple storylines that we love from the books. I mean, AVX, while I think kind of a weird storyline, the individual issues themselves and the team ups and the fights. I mean, like Gambit versus Captain America is a phenomenal book. That was a lot of fun. Hell, Iron Man versus Magneto was a lot of fun. That book, while the overall plot line is questionable, whether or not you're happy with the whole, Scott becoming evil again,
killing Professor X.
Sorry. That's for everyone who saw it. Never mind.
Anyway,
I'm being childish, I'm
happy. I'm happy you're being childish. Just wait. Hopefully he'll break out his Vincent D'Onofrio. He's been trying very hard to get his Kingpin down, and I'm going to make sure I say it on the show so it happens at some point through this stream.
I don't know. That's not.
It's not there yet, but it's
like
getting
I said,
there.
it was there yesterday. It's not there today.
I cannot wait for you to get it.
That was more Pete Holmesy Batman voice.
All right. Well, does anybody have any last thoughts with this? I think when more leaks and more ideas come out, like we were talking, Buzz, the screen leaks that came out. Excuse me, the concept art that leaked for this. I have a feeling that that's Vision Quest, and I have a feeling that's what's it called, Secret Wars. So when the Russo brothers were like, this isn't Doomsday and Secret Wars, I think they were 50% lying. I think there was some Secret Wars in there, but this might none of that might have been Doomsday.
True. Yeah. I mean, it's an actual real leak, so it could have been anything. But I think mentioning all the names was kind of like their way of being like, all right, well, you saw all these guys in this art. Here's what we're doing, and it kind of like gets the excitement back in the ball's back in their court, versus like, oh, somebody leaked all this stuff, and now they're upset that you know.
Well, it also explains why, like, for example, we had Infinity War, we had one set of Avengers, and then Endgame, we had another set of Avengers.
Right.
And if we look at those screen leaks again, the concept art, we have that whole little section of Battle World that was all the Hulks. And we've heard that She-Hulk's supposed to play a bigger role in Secret Wars. That would explain why those two are not a part of Doomsday.
Yeah, I mean, in comic book history, heroes versus heroes, DC versus Marvel, like this stuff has always garnered the most sales and the most like attention and most excitement. So naturally, for the MCU, moving into movies that are like all these crossover events, like that's what's going to make the sales. To get people excited.
Suckers like me will spend a lot of money, a whole lot of money on that.
Yeah, like 6 popcorn buckets per
all day, dude. That one, whatever the popcorn buckets are. You kidding me?
Listen, the popcorn buckets have been dope.
I didn't even think about what the popcorn buckets for this movie are gonna be. There's gonna be a Dr. Doom head
mask.
Yeah.
I don't even know, man.
Let me tell you something.
I'm so excited about that.
I didn't get to tell you last time, but Ghostface started all that trend.
Oh right, yeah. That was Buzz's little nugget of information. He was like, after we talked about the popcorn buckets on the show, he was like, do you guys know? And I'm like, this has to save it for the show. All right, please give us a history of popcorn buckets for a minute.
So the first one was the R2-D2 for the re-release of Phantom Menace, but it was more of a drink holder, like it wasn't a popcorn bucket. And then it was 2023, and then 2022.
This dude has dates.
Yeah, 2022.
He's got receipts,
then,
ladies and gentlemen.
And then when the following Scream movie came out the following year, I think it was like February 2024, they dropped the Scream Ghostface popcorn bucket, which then Star Wars was like, all right, ours wasn't cool enough, and then they dropped that summer after the Ghostface bucket the bigger R2-D2 one that was a whole robot.
So then why does everyone give the credit to Dune? Because it
Dune?
looked like
that
a
was
sex
the
toy.
most
outlandish.
Obnoxious.
Yeah.
Yeah. It was really Ghostface, man. I think Ghostface, well, it was like Scream 6 or something that started the whole merch at the movie theater thing.
Well,
the
can I
Ghostface
just say,
fans are nuts.
I know some people hate it. I think it's brilliant. It's
They got 'em.
brilliant.
They're bringing everybody back for part 7.
Well, no one's going to the movies anymore because streaming will get it like a week and a half later. So they have to recoup costs some way. And it's an easy way for the theater to do it. And honestly, every time you go to the theater, every other store around that theater has nothing but that merch. So they're just like, why don't we get none of this money?
True.
It's a brilliant idea. I'm completely down and keep the popcorn buckets coming. But why are we making them all $50? Can we stop that? Can we stop that? All right, let's move on to our next story here, which was pretty shocking, came out of left field, and is one of the most exciting new Marvel games to come out this year. One of 2 now. I thought we were going to have only one. We had that Captain America Black Panther game, which looks outstanding. That is my kind of game through and through. That T'Chaka versus Young Cap World War II story game that's coming out. I am so stoked for that. But this is very much up my alley as well, because if you guys loved like the X-Men arcade cabinet, or if you liked the Avengers arcade cabinet, or the Spider-Man arcade cabinet, or the Simpsons arcade cabinet, or the Punisher arcade cabinet, if you like these side-scrolling beat-em-ups, we've got one, Cosmic Invasion, which is based on the Annihilation Wave.
Ooh.
So this is all based on the Annihilation comic that was going on during Civil War, and it's a side-scroller beat-em-up with 15 different characters. And the coolest part, and I've not seen anyone talk about this, the move sets for all the characters seem like they're based on Marvel vs. Capcom. So
Oh, nice.
Right. The influence of other older games on this is outstanding. And you know why it's so good? You know why it's so good?
Why?
You know who made this game?
Who?
The same people who made Shredder's Revenge.
Yeah,
Oh,
you can
okay.
tell.
That Ninja Turtle game
That was a good game.
So good. So, yeah, I can't wait for this. So you got Captain America, you've got Spider-Man, you've got Venom. Who else do we have? We've
Violet Veil.
Philo
Nova?
which is an
That's-
interesting one. Nova, Nova has to be there. And
Yeah.
like they didn't announce Silver Surfer yet, but Silver Surfer's going to be there. Like you kind of can't have the Annihilation Wave. For
I guess
anybody who
that-
doesn't know, this is a story about a nihilist who lives in the negative zone, who released what he calls the Annihilation Wave, which is a whole bunch of different bug demon creatures, and they swarm planets by the billions. And while Civil War was going on, Nova shows up to Earth like, guys, everything in the universe is dying. And they're like, we can't help you, though, because we don't see an eye to eye right now. And so, like, our government's like, nah. The Annihilation Wave was a great book. Remember they turned Galactus into a gun? There was a lot of cool things that happened in that book. But this game looks so up my alley and
love
so
the artwork.
nostalgic.
So
So
there's two big questions on this, and I saw the one answer. So this is going to be available on, I believe, PlayStation 4, PlayStation 5, Switch,
Everything.
Steam. So it's for PC, maybe Mac, Xbox Series X. So
Well, if
that's
it's on
pretty
Steam, it
fantastic.
should be available for Mac, right?
Not always.
Not always.
But
Depends.
judging by the type of game it is, it probably will be. We'll see. When does it release, though? That's the
It
big
just says 2025.
2020. Okay.
Yeah.
So
we
it's
don't
probably
have a
somewhere
date.
towards the end of the year. But it's, man, I can't wait. Like, you know what game we just beat recently that was just so much fun was they did this with the Power Rangers.
Oh,
That side-scrolling Power Rangers game
yeah.
was beautifully done. And it's like certain games just make so much sense to be side-scroller beat-em-ups. Like the
Yeah.
fact that Power Rangers hasn't had one since like SNES is wild. And the fact that the Avengers only has that one, which is great. Don't get me wrong. Thanks, Quicksilver. Like that game is
Hey, for what it's worth, G.I. Joe hasn't had a game.
G.I. Joe does actually have a side-scroller game. I almost
They
sent it
do.
to you, and it's so
I know
cool.
it just came out now that,
Yeah.
now that I
Yeah.
remember.
You gonna get it?
Wow.
I'll play with you. Come on now.
Hey,
That's
now.
what she said.
Yeah, if Scarlett, look, if Scarlett's in it, yeah, no, he just wants to say it. He's just like, I didn't get a chance to say it earlier.
I didn't.
But
Here
if
it is.
Scarlett's in that G.I. Joe game, it might give this one a run for its money because that's still my crush.
Wow.
I love
I
me
love
some
the
Joe.
I love it, man. I love the
Yeah.
retro style.
Oh, yeah.
Very
I love the
Streets
side
of
scrollers.
Rage.
Probably easier to make games like this, and they're easier to play.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, you don't have to dedicate like 26 hours to it. You can just like plop in and play.
Yep, 2 days, the game's beat. You're done.
Honestly,
Although-
they
Go
could
ahead.
roll it out pretty quick because all the animations are the same as, like you said, Marvel vs. Capcom.
A lot of them, well, you can tell they're new, but they're very
Yeah.
much inspired by them. So the
Right.
button combinations look exactly like the combos that you do in Marvel vs. Capcom. So super stoked. You know, shield slash. Like that's why I want that. I want
Web
Stars and
ball.
Stripes. Web ball. Web swing.
Classic arcade, man.
So yeah,
God.
super stoked for this. And I'm sorry, Mashko, but you know what? It's okay. We're moving into some Daredevil news, so you'll
No,
be
I'm,
happy.
I'm fine. This game sounds pretty cool. I like that style. It's, I'm not going to buy it, but
Oh damn.
Come on.
Damn.
I'm not gonna
I would
take it
love
away
to
from
play
anybody.
a 4-person game with Mashko. I don't
Right?
think it'll
Yeah,
ever
I mean, that's
happen.
fun.
We should all, like, oh, man.
That's fun.
What, not having you there? No, it would be
What?
fun to
No,
have
no,
you
no,
there.
I said me. Yeah, we'll bust out Goldeneye. We'll see what's up.
I'll rock
There we
you,
go.
Goldeneye. I'll rock you, Goldeneye.
Dun-dun-dun-dun-dun.
But let's go ahead and move over to season 2 of Daredevil because we had some set photos released, and man,
we
Matt
did.
finally got them double D's, and I
Oh.
couldn't be
So you-
happier.
See, this is what happens when you kind of lead the show. You get to say all the good sentences, all the fun.
You took
all
his
the fun
joke,
clips
Benty.
out.
Right.
I know. All I know is that I'm sure he's been sitting on that since we were like, we're gonna do the Daredevil set photos. He's just like,
4 days, man.
Matt's got double D's, and he's
Man.
like, he's in the mirror going, double D, Matt. No, that doesn't work. Let's
Did it, man.
Man, that's such a cool costume.
did a Daredevil.
Why is this
Damn.
important?
This costume is incredible. There's who knows the theories to
Yeah,
why he's doing this, but there is some obviously inspiration from the comics that I believe this is coming from. But whether or not that's true, based on what the rumors of the next season and how this season's wrapping up, who knows how true it is. But it looks like it's going to be based on Shadowland. At least that's what the costume design looks like, which is with the black with the red accents. When Matt goes a little too far over the edge and doesn't he like lead the hand and
Yeah.
But
it's
like
a
you
fight.
see the red, bleeding through it. So is it just one of his Daredevil suits that he spray painted black?
there's
It looks
rumor of
like-
that. There's rumor because there's rumor that it's not actually him taking it too far. Like I thought, how interesting would it be if you've got Matt who take the Daredevil, or excuse me, take the hand away from it for a second. Maybe he just gets pushed too far over the edge because that's what we're seeing in season 1, right? The whole season seems like it's pushing him to try and become a killer again,
Right.
and he doesn't want to. He's trying his best not to go down. That's like the Punisher's best line, where he's like, "You want my permission." What if this is Matt losing it, taking it too far, and becoming the vigilante in a darker way, which brings the Defenders back in to try and bring Matt back to the to sanity.
Yeah, I was
Then
gonna
that's
say
really
like,
Shadowland.
Yeah,
Right, exactly.
If he's adding the logo to it, he's making a statement. So something
Well-
has twisted him to be like, boom, like this
love
is
that.
who I am kind of deal.
You are Segway Sam over there. I love that. No, because going back off what Huey said, the idea of spray painting his costume. The other rumor is that since the task force, the anti-vigilante task force, is something that they've kind of pushing a little bit in this season, and that's where it's suspected to go. That vigilantes are just outlawed. The fact that he gives himself a logo is the statement.
Yeah.
Like, no, Daredevil's back. And so he never had a logo before. He never, the Netflix one never had a logo. Now he took the Hawkeye treatment. He talked to Kate Bishop, talked to the LARPers, and got a brand new suit. You know what I mean?
Nice.
But the set photos look so good, and I can't.
They
wait.
do.
Yeah.
He looks good in black. It's cool, man.
Can we take 2 seconds and talk about Daredevil though?
Yeah.
Those last 2 episodes were.
Yeah.
I don't know how I feel about them.
Really?
I
What-
love
what
the
you
bank
mean?
scene, but I
The bank
didn't.
one was great.
It was
Dark Knight.
except for
Relived.
except for I didn't need the Kamala Khan stuff.
Right.
Like it felt
That's
like
a lot more stuff
it felt
in.
like
Yeah.
both of these episodes were remnants of
one-shot.
the original script. Mm-hmm. And that, remember when Vincent D'Onofrio said, "Man, the original script felt more like a comedy." Well, I get why he said that after watching the last 2 episodes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, I got to take a trip to Jersey City. It just seems like Matt Murdock meets the MCU. Doop-a-doo.
Yeah, yeah.
You know what I mean? And it's not bad. It was a lot of fun, but it was like, I want the story to continue in the pace that it's been going, and it's just these episodes felt like there was such a tone shift that I wasn't necessarily ready for. It's still really good, but this is what I talked about when the show first came out. There's a tone switching back and forth between reshoots trying to fit to the Netflix show and the original script that they were like, this isn't working, we got to change it up. You can
Right,
see them
right.
both in there.
That bank episode stood out like
Yeah.
a sore thumb. I thought it was fun, and it reminded me of like a classic Daredevil comic, but
Yeah.
it definitely was like offbeat from where we had just come from. And then to jump into, the final episode is like night and day.
Right, exactly.
Oh yeah.
Exactly,
Yeah,
and that's
yeah.
and that's what I mean. Is the tones don't seem to match. It's still still the best thing that's happening right now. So don't get me wrong. Nitpick and Menti is right back at it. But
The ending of the last episode though, they got a little dark there.
That shit was
although,
real dark.
Yeah.
is it just me or did Muse get taken out way too quickly?
I don't.
He escaped, so he'll be back.
He'll be back.
Yeah, it just felt like he get episode 6 in 8 episodes. Like,
Yeah.
he wasn't much of a villain, and he got smacked around way easier than I expected him to.
Yeah, I don't know if they're going the full route
Super-
of
yeah,
his superpowers.
No,
Super strength and
and
whatnot.
it was interesting the way they incorporated it into the blood of the murals, but it wasn't as grotesque. Like the setting was grotesque. Don't get me wrong, but I kind of assumed it was going to be, especially the way that the actors and stuff were talking about it. I thought it
Yeah.
was going to be way more over the top than that. Seeing as how the first episode we threw a dude off the roof, you know what I mean?
Were you
the,
expecting
the
like
knives
sanitation
sticking out
worker
of him?
guy was a little. That
That's
was
true.
a little off.
That's true.
I feel like the setup to bring that character in is heavy. You gotta really play that one out. You can't just have that disappear.
Yes.
Yeah.
That's some serious stuff.
Well, and it's good that they don't kill him because I mean that's the mistake that they make in almost every Marvel property for a while. There is that every villain was killed, so you just lost all your cool villains in Phase 1 and 2. You know.
What if Muse now decides to take he'll find some super powered people, take their blood to help him give him powers.
That's an interesting idea. That's
But-
an idea. I don't hate it.
It's just a way to give him his powers, but
Yeah.
Yeah.
We haven't really seen too much of him, so
And I don't know if we're going
Right.
to.
What's
And
next?
I don't know if that's a good thing. Like, I love the Wilson Fisk stuff. Don't get me wrong, but I feel like the Wilson Fisk stuff is almost too much of the show.
What is
Yeah,
wrong
old
with
mayor.
that? Sorry.
And I get it. It's the
I tried.
dichotomy of them trying to be different people, but the kind of the New York at the time is pulling them back into their old ways. Like it's the duality of the two characters. So it's I see that it's important explaining that both, but that's what all the seasons of Netflix's Daredevil was about. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like the whole at the end, I beat you.
The story, superhero archetypes. They kind of just keep reliving out the same superhero archetype. Hence variants, because they need to tell it in a new way.
Which, by the way, when we get to Ultimate Wonder Woman or Absolute Wonder Woman, I got some takes.
Uh-oh.
Ooh.
But before we get to that, let's go ahead and talk about whether the hell John Wick and Blade are going to be a thing, or if all this is just bullshit. I don't know. I don't know what to
I
take
don't know who
this
to
news.
believe anymore.
Well, it's just so much conflicting news about Daredevil, or not Daredevil, Blade. Blade seems like it's Blade. At first, I thought was done, and then
It's going through the ringer.
Moshko
feel
sends
like-
an
yeah.
article like, "Oh, by the way,
Yeah.
it's the best news ever."
Yeah.
No.
And then the next day,
And then and then
Changes
immediately
again.
afterwards, no, that's not true.
So
I
it
don't-
is just the directors of John Wick, right?
Well, hold on, Moshko, what's going on? What's happening with Blade?
oh, apparently the director from John Wick, who's done all the films, his name is
Chad.
Chad Stahelski. I might be mispronouncing that.
Good old Chad.
But apparently he's now tapped to direct it. This is coming from our good buddy Jeff Snyder
For 3 days.
over at the In Snyder. And then, a couple days later, it appears to be debunked by another scooper, Rodrigo Perez. I have no idea who this is. So
From
I'm
the
gonna-
playlist, but apparently the playlist has been accurate sometimes, so I don't know. I have no
they're
idea
all,
who they are.
Yeah, they're
Sometimes.
all accurate sometimes.
Yeah,
I'm
they're all
still going with my boy
sometimes.
Jeff. I think we're still going to see this eventually, but we're probably going to get that Midnight Suns
Yeah,
movie
I was going to
first.
say, like, I know they're using Blade a lot in the comics, but I think for cinematics, they're just trying to keep its own, like, Marvel After Dark kind of thing.
I think
Yeah,
they want to speed run to the end of this universe and reboot, and they don't want to
Yeah.
put effort into like. Apparently,
Yeah.
good old Kevin Feige wants to make sure that the Blade movie happens. He's apparently still very
He
committed to
started
doing
on
that,
Blade.
but he doesn't want to slow down momentum and wants to get fans excited again. So the idea is that something like a Midnight Suns come out, or something where he gets to be a side character that's introduced through a different movie, like America Chavez. You know what I mean?
yeah.
And so he becomes a secondary character, or hell, they make a Midnight Suns movie and he just becomes the lead of the team, and boom, there you go, problem solved.
It's a whole nother franchise to build off of with, like, you know, the love for Midnight Suns. There's a lot of diehard Midnight Suns fans, like, just huge fan pages for it.
Is go ahead.
Uh-oh.
Could
Like,
you imagine? Because we know the Russo brothers are really good at giving huge ensemble casts. All of them get a moment, right? They're very good at making sure that they all get a moment that ties into something else. Like Ant-Man and the Wasp, when he was like, "You got it, Cap," and then they look at each other. Like they're good at giving those small moments. So what if the moment that you get here is? Hold on, I just lost everything. Excuse me. In Doomsday, you have Wesley Snipes show up, and then you have Mahershala Ali come out saying, "I thought there was only one." You know what I mean? Like play off
Yeah,
that
that
there's
would be
only ever
great.
going to be one Blade, and then
Yeah.
he goes, "Actually, not really." That would be a fun place to introduce him. Like, nope, turns out not.
They're still trying to
That'd be
ice skate
dope.
uphill.
Yeah, right. You see him; he comes out with ice skates on. He literally is ice skating up a hill.
I just want to see him in that club again.
Yeah.
If he ice skates up a hill to a club, they junk the shark. That's what happened. that's when you know scrap the
Yeah.
idea. But I don't know. John Wick seems like it's exciting. That like the action sequences to that would just be outstanding. And didn't they play a role in Civil War? Didn't they bring them in for some of the action sequences?
I
I heard rumor of that.
I don't know.
Hey, Baby Huey, get to it.
Oh, the John Wick guys in the action sequence in Civil War? Mm-hmm. It was probably
But
in that silhouette shot
what, I
where,
did
like,
hear
they're
that
fighting.
Well, apparently it was
profile.
like the airport scene.
The airport
Which is
scene.
one of the best moments of the movie. I don't know. I could be very wrong about that, but we'll find out when Huey's done Hueying. But while we wait for Huey to Huey, let's go ahead and just rattle off some crazy stories because we got a bunch
There's
to
been
go
no
through.
official confirmation on that, so it's rumor.
It's just rumor.
Yeah.
I believe it happened. That's like Joss. Remember, Joss Whedon wasn't involved in every production in Phase 1 and 2. But no,
Yeah.
they literally flew him to sites to work on scripts on the set of Thor 2.
Too
So
many hands.
yeah, right. Although Phase 1 and Phase 2, Phase 2 may not be the greatest, but I'll take all those hands from Phase 1. That's I'm fine with that.
You got to build it somehow.
But let's go ahead and start talking about some of these quick stories. So let's bring our little news flash back for a second here, because the first one, I don't care, but I feel like we have to talk about it because we've talked about it so often.
Yeah.
Diamond, the auction, now has an official winner who got the top bid, and it's Alliance Entertainment. What do we think about the physical media company taking over physical media?
Sounds like a good idea.
It seems like it fits.
I mean,
I'm just glad somebody did it.
Right.
Yeah.
I kind of wanted it to be Todd.
Yeah,
I don't know
it
why,
would've
but I
been-
kind of
would've been
wanted
another echelon. But
would have been weird.
yeah, it would have been weird.
It would have been weird, but I want to see it.
He's big enough.
Yes, but I kind of want to see what that would have done.
I would have, gone to his brain. You know what I mean? Like, he would have done some wacky stuff that
Right.
not good for the industry. I love you, Todd. I love you forever, but you would have.
That's
We're
that's
gonna
pop-
send
it.
that's popcorn
He would have done
time.
the same thing he does with his toys, and he would
Right.
make special collector editions
would
that
be
you could
stupid,
only
yeah.
get
Gonna
at certain
set up a-
spots. And
It would be stupid.
We're going to
Yeah.
set up a distribution center in Kansas City, or
hey, yo.
I love that Boschko is just working on his impressions. We're gonna get
terrible.
We're gonna get
Absolutely
Frank back,
terrible.
and you guys are gonna have an impression off, and it's gonna be amazing.
the man
Frank
does
wins.
it for a living. I do not.
I know that's what's gonna make it great. So the next thing I wanted to talk about was the Giant Size House of M that was announced. Did you see that? For the 50th anniversary of the Giant Size X-Men, they're
and
doing.
Miss Marvel's front and center.
Well, yeah, I like that.
Eh.
Miss Marvel turning into an X-Men is not a bad thing. It has not been
No.
bad. She fits beautifully. She deserves to be on that team, and she was originally supposed to be on that team, so I want to hear none of it.
I don't need her front and center. That's all.
Well, she's also going to play a huge role in this story arc. So apparently the last 3 stories are like about her going through different moments and periods through major
Front and center.
X-Men moments. And one of them is going to be, one of the giant-size X-Men, I think it's 2, 1 or 2, she's going up against like an old Legion. So Legion creates a new House of M. So like Old Man Legion makes a new House of M that she's stuck in that takes her to different areas of what mutant existence would have looked like if they were, top dog. So I don't know. It seems kind of cool. I'm into it. I think that'd be a fun book.
I'll get it.
What do you guys think?
Jean Grey used to be called Miss Marvel back in the day, right? Or Marvel Girl?
Yes.
Oh, Marvel Girl.
Marvel Girl.
Marvel Girl.
Marvel Girl with the
With the yellow
weird. She had the
The
Scarlet Witch,
green-
but gold.
The green tunic. And, yeah.
crowns.
Crown looking hat on.
Did you guys hear about Battle Beast breaking
Sick.
pre-sale records?
Yeah.
Dude.
For Invincible. Good job, man.
Yeah.
They're
I'm
hot.
excited for it. I want that.
I'm
first
so
one.
happy.
Still
Invincibles.
lining those pockets.
I know, man. 400,000 copies sold, and they're expecting it to break 1 million. It hasn't. It's releasing in May.
May.
Kirkman's got the Midas touch on comic books, man.
As well, and Battle Beast. Like, who would have thought Battle Beast of all characters would be the one to break records? Like, I like Battle Beast. Don't get me wrong, but man, is this the list of giant size X-Men books?
Yeah, you got Giant Size X-Men, Giant Size Dark Phoenix Saga, Age of Apocalypse, House of M, and Giant Size X-Men #2.
This year is just terrible for me. All over. Just
Yeah, you've got to spend way too much money. So they got you coming and going. All right, well, I don't know how to
They're
talk
donating
about
blood.
this because we had to have a little meeting beforehand on whether or not this was considered a spoiler, and I don't feel like this is a spoiler at all. I feel like this is just casting news.
I'll give my reasoning. I
But
think I have
I'm
going
going
to
to say
concise
spoiler
now.
alert for Superman if this matters to you. It's just casting. But again, spoiler alert if this is a big deal to you. But Bradley Cooper has been apparently signed on to play Jor-El, which is awesome because more Bradley Cooper is never a bad thing.
You should give him the white hair like Marlon Brando.
I love it. Yes, 100%. Slick it back. Absolutely. Absolutely. All right, Moshko, why is this a big deal?
So I believe this whole story came to light because of a screening that happened.
Wow.
Yes.
That's
they do.
why. This wasn't like DC saying Bradley Cooper's going to be Jor-El. It was some dude in a theater saw that it was Jor-El and released that information.
I just don't know how
Wow.
that's like a shocking thing. Like it would be one
Well, the
thing if it
movie's-
was a
like,
cameo of a
everything's
character we
done.
weren't expecting, but Jor-El is
But
not a
it's
character.
done. It's not like we didn't see him filming it. We didn't see, behind the scenes, oh, this is a big thing. It's not on IMDb or anywhere. Like this was
Probably
not
is now.
supposed to be let out. That's the only reason. But now that it's out, whatever.
I just don't feel like this is going to affect anything or anybody's excitement. I don't think anyone's going to go, "Oh, you ruined Superman," because Bradley Cooper is going to make it better.
Would have been a surprise.
I don't see how.
Would have been a surprise.
I know nothing about the movie except for Jor-El's going to be in it, which I probably should have guessed anyway.
I mean, it probably would have been a surprise,
It's not
but
so much the character; it's who's playing the character.
But that's what I don't
Yeah,
find
but-
Bradley Cooper finding out Bradley Cooper played Rocket just made you go, oh, that's awesome.
Yeah.
yeah,
It didn't make you
so
go,
it's not like
Bradley
Channing-
Cooper.
It's not
We're
Channing
supposed to
Tatum
be excited about
level.
it, but we're not.
yeah.
It's not bad. It's great news. It's great
Gunn
news.
bringing back another actor.
Like prime example, when we found out that what's it called, Russell Crowe was playing Jor-El. I was all that's great, and he was a great Jor-El. But it's like I'm not shocked that Jor-El was in it. It'd be like it'd be like finding out Jimmy Olsen's played by Tom Holland, and you're like, oh my god, Jimmy Olsen in a Superman story, crazy.
Cool.
No, it would ruin the movie for you.
You would hate it.
Side character.
All right. Well, speaking of
Side characters?
speaking of side characters, did you hear about Chris Evans?
What's
That
going
apparently
on?
he's going to be in Fantastic Four. There's rumor that
Really?
he is going to make somewhat of a significant cameo, but does that mean he's playing the Captain America from their world, or does that mean he's playing Human Torch and they're just traveling through the multiverse?
Ooh,
Like there's some cool, there's
50-50
two cool
on
things
that.
you can do there. Because you
He
could have a
gets
Captain America. That was,
He gets sidetracked returning the stones.
I don't even. That'd be cool. That'd be very cool. But I don't think that's going to happen. I think what's going to probably happen is they're going to show how great Reed has been in their world, and that they found Cap and he just got to live a normal life, because with the Fantastic Four around, the entire universe is different. So Earth on that planet means that Steve just got to have a life because the Fantastic Four existed. So I think that would be
could be
kind of
cool.
a really cool. Like if they just do a quick scene where he's walking with Peggy.
Yeah, that makes more sense.
Could be a lot of fun just to go, in other places. And then a last weird one where I don't see how this is good news on Marvel's behalf, but apparently Rachel Zegler and Gal Gadot are both up for roles in the MCU.
Oh.
Yeah, that's a weird one. Who said this? Was Daniel RPK? It's one of them. Oh no, My Time to Shine. My Time to Shine said that Marvel's actively looking to find spots for them with major roles, and it's like I don't know if you saw what
Disney's
was
not
going
gonna
on
hire
with Snow White. Well, it is Disney.
oh, is that
I meant Disney proper.
This is Disney proper.
Oh,
They're under the umbrella, my friend.
What would they cast her?
I don't know.
as?
Mouse.
All I know is I can't see
House
this
of M
being.
stands for House of Mouse.
Yeah, right.
Yeah,
I don't think it'll be good. I don't
No,
want to
look.
say anything. Yeah,
Rachel Zegler's not a bad actress. She just didn't know how to handle the PR of that movie.
She's immensely talented.
Yes, absolutely.
And that's
Okay.
probably the problem.
If they just gave her a PR person and said, "Hey, you can't talk about anything outside of the movie," even then, actually, keep her away from that. Just Ezra Miller her. You know what I mean? Just keep her off the red carpet. Keep her away from cameras for a little while. She could probably do a
they
decent
did that.
job.
They canceled all of her PR.
yeah. The moment they
Snow
signed her
White.
on for the
For a reason.
MCU, they were like, "You can't talk about this. Hush you."
Yeah, I can't see that being a good idea. All right, the last one is going to be another spoiler alert, and this is a spoiler alert for about 12 people who really care about what's going on with Venom right now. But for those 12,
What about Nathan Fillion?
oh my bad.
As if we didn't know it was going to happen. But,
I mean,
he has now joined the Lantern show on HBO.
All
so
right, more guy.
That's awesome.
Yay!
And you know what's probably going to be pretty cool? My prediction is that since we believe that Maxwell Lord has them somewhat mind controlled, we'll say, because that's at least my guess. When they break the mind control, we get more of the Guy Gardner we know, and that's when he's going back to meet the Lanterns after being under, whatever kind of control
Yeah,
for so
probably.
long. Kind of a cool way to bring him in, like discovering himself kind of thing. Yeah, Lanterns looks like it's going to be very exciting, but I don't know. We'll wait till we get closer. Absolute Green Lantern is way more exciting than the Lanterns is right now, and that's this week, so brace yourself. But let's get back to some comic news for just a moment, because I'm going to spoil this, and I want you to be prepared if you actually care about this book. But as you can see from the cover that they gave,
Hey, Menti, though, hold on. The picture
Yes.
I'm sharing right now, the flower that's covering Venom. Do you know what that is? It's a tiger lily.
oh, that's dumb.
Oh,
This is so dumb.
golly.
Let me just start with saying I hate this. I hate this. I hated what they did before with this character, and I hate what they're doing now with this character. And drum roll, please. Spoiler alert. The all-new Venom is Mary Jane Watson. Good
That is
Lord.
an ugly cover.
That
you
is
picked
wow.
the worst cover.
This is
The only one I could find.
Yeah,
Oh,
they're
you-
not going to
you
be
see the other
stoked on
one?
With
this
her
in
in
5
it.
years.
Oh, there's
Oh.
a few other pieces of artwork out with her in it.
I think it's the same one on the couch, but it's her.
It's
All I know is-
inclusive.
The idea of Luke Cage being the new Venom was really exciting, really cool, and a unique way to go.
Yeah.
Rick Jones sounded dumb, right?
Yeah.
All the other things they floated around
Mike
sounded
Jones.
dumb.
It should have been Luke Cage.
Mary Jane? Why do they so desperately want Mary Jane to be a superhero? Why can't Mary Jane just be the awesome Mary Jane we've always known in a Spider-Man story or in a Spider-Man-esque world? Does she have to be something? Like, remember when they took her and they moved her over to Iron Man's personal assistant? That's a cool idea of what
That's
to use
smart,
with her for as a character.
Yuck.
Well, sure, right. We didn't like it because we were like, no, you need to be with Peter. But this is way worse. I would much rather her marry Iron Man than go through what she's going through now with Paul moving into Jackpot, moving into now Venom. It's just the worst trilogy for this character of story arcs that she's been a part of. It's just, I don't understand this at all, especially with how awesome she is in Ultimates.
My problem is like it's like anybody else they've ever like announced as a symbiote or something. It's like always been like a new look or like kind of fits them, and like this is just like odd. Like it doesn't like. I'd rather it be actually Mary Jane like in a symbiote than like some head popping out of it, like putting the head of one toy on another toy.
Well, I'm guessing you're probably right. I'm guessing they J.J. Abrams and Ray'd this. You know what I mean? Like Ray changed characters so many times. I bet you the reason this took so many issues is they had no idea who they wanted this character to be. They were
Right.
probably floating with some ideas and were like, let's stretch it out to try and figure out who we want. They were like, what if we did Mary Jane?
Yeah,
And everyone went,
yeah.
wow,
that is
be
so brave.
it's a
You
water
literally gave
cooler
us 4
conversation
options.
gone wrong.
It's dumb. It was a dumb pitch. It's a dumb idea. I cannot see any Venom fan being excited for the Mary Jane tale. And I love Mary Jane as a character, especially in Ultimate Spider-Man. She's outstanding.
Yeah.
But this isn't it. This isn't it, Venom people. This isn't it.
So a superhero character is really well balanced by a human character, like to stabilize it and give it a foundation in its universe. And so making everyone a superhero and having no humans isn't going to be like helpful for, really well to tell the story.
That's what killed True Blood.
That's right.
what's
They made
killed
everybody
True
a
Blood.
special character.
All of a sudden, we had Werepanthers, and I'm like, the hell are we doing?
Fairies. and
Every
all
people
this
are
stuff.
fairies and throwing lava fireballs. Like, what is happening in the show? Like,
I want to be a cool character too.
yeah, Werepanther powers. Werepanther. So dumb. So dumb. All right. Well, on that note, ladies and gentlemen, we are going to move in hell of a comics week. But before that happens, we have to bid adieu to our good friend Buzz because he's working on something pretty cool. So, Buzz, what is fill us in on why you got to bail early, because this is pretty cool.
I got a bunch of covers I'm doing. This is a Silent Night, Deadly Night versus Scrooge.
Wow. That's so cool.
Wow.
That's so
We're
cool.
doing a Silent Night, Deadly Night where Billy Chapman becomes supernatural Christmas killer and is going through all the different popular Christmas storylines. This is a quick shot of the Christmas story leg. Got the girl. So yeah.
So good.
Love it.
And then this really cool monster team up. It's based on I think it's Marvel's 2-in-1. When they used to like put all the characters together, kind of like what we're talking about. This is my take on that, but monsters
That's awesome.
and a bunch more. But yeah, man, it's always busy.
Yeah. Yeah.
Thanks for the shout out.
Which is amazing because and Buzz actually was one of the first people we asked this question when we were back in the Fireside days. When we were interviewing creators, we always were like, "What books are you reading?" And we learned real fast not to ask people that because none of them read anything. They were like, everyone gave the same answer. We're too busy creating. You know, the only person not to answer that question, Buzz. Buzz is the only one like, I'm reading this and I just got this slapped and I just got Buzz is the only person I've talked to that's able to somehow balance now being on a podcast, being an actual comic fan, and being a comic creator. It's pretty impressive to watch. So while we only got you for half an episode, it's still always a pleasure.
Oh man, I miss being here, but thanks for letting me jump in.
Always jump in as often as you can, my friend.
You got it.
And then you have a lot of books to catch up on because just because you're missing this doesn't mean you can't skip these.
They're in my bin at Captain Blue Hand waiting for me to pick up.
All right, let's move over to comics, and everyone say bye to Buzz.
Bye, Buzz.
Bye, buddy.
Bye, buddy.
Thanks, guys.
All right, it's comic time, and this has been one of the best comic weeks. Like this is one of the first weeks that I was reading Wednesday. Like most of the time, I kind of wait Thursday mornings when I start reading the first book. No, I was raring to go because we had Ultimate Spider-Man, Ultimate Wolverine, we had Wolverine Revenge, we had the end of the 8 Deaths of Spider-Man. I mean, there was some good ones. But can I just take a second and just gush over a book I was not ready to love as much as I did? Absolute Wonder Woman. Absolute Wonder Woman's art changed, and good Lord, is it
did.
great.
I might go
Once
back
the
then.
art changed, man, I have no complaints, and the storyline sounds really exciting.
So they finished the first arc, and now they're moving on to something completely different.
Yes.
Yeah.
Very much so.
Yes.
And we learn a lot more about where her different lassos come from and where she got the different strands of fabric to create them, and it's beautifully drawn. It looks outstanding.
Yes, it's gorgeous artwork.
Maybe I'm back in.
It's what they should have started with.
100%. Whoever they have doing this book now should have been who was doing the book in the first place. And honestly, hopefully they kind of stretch the story out a little bit more because the last arc just felt like every issue was flavor of the week and rushed. Like it did all fit, but it was like in this one she gets the sword, and this one she loses an arm, and there's all these big moments that feel like they should have lasted. Just felt like they were like by the time the issue ended, like she got her arm back. But wow, it was beautiful. It was a book that I was not expecting to like as much as I did. It was the best of the absolutes this week. No offense to Martian Manhunter. Martian Manhunter was a lot of fun. Martian Manhunter has really cool art and is very trippy, but I need some more books before I can say that this is great. It's fun and it's intriguing, but I don't know if I'd call it great yet.
Yeah, I saw a couple panels from Martian Manhunter. I didn't. Somebody on one of the was it Mr. Cooper?
Yeah. We were going back and forth.
He had some really good things to say about it.
Well, so people who, and this is like the Flash, people who are big fans will see will see things the rest of us don't. Like I remember talking to people about how excited I was about Absolute Flash, and people were like, I didn't really get it. And I'm like, yeah, but so many people were introduced, and the way that they set it up is very similar to how they set it up with. Thank you, Huey. Huey's throwing me off with the psychedelics.
No, that was a cool thing they did with the artwork with the Martian Vision page. That was cool.
That was very, very clever, and it was a cool way to tie it up, where you actually had to hold the page up to the light to see the back page bleed through. So it's a giant. The one page is a giant picture of the regular guy's head, and the back page is the alien's head, the Martian's head. And when held up to the light, that bleeds through, so you see them together. I don't. It's
cool.
It's but cool idea though.
And it's like you said, it is very trippy. As I read it, I was like, I feel like I should be, I don't know, just inebriated on something. I'm not sure why. It's like you're reading it, and then all of a sudden there's like so many colors. I'm like, why is this happening? It's strange.
Can I just also say that they make a point to show that everyone's smoking on every page. There's smoke and smoking on every page.
It's like an old 60s comic. Yeah.
Definitely is leaning into the trippiness of the artwork. But let's switch universes for a second, because what a great Ultimate week this was too. Because I will say, Ultimate Spider-Man gave me a theory that I wasn't expecting, but I think is a brilliant one. If I say so myself.
Speak your truth, sir.
All right, well, so spoiler alert, as we know, Harry Osborn was shot in the head. And we've been going, that's what a crazy twist. And then all of a sudden Huey goes, well, Mysterio's in the background. And we're like, oh, damn, it's all fake. Well, this whole issue, they keep talking about they're trying to get a contact with Gwen Stacy, but they can't. Gwen Stacy dies at the hand of the Green Goblin. What if the Ultimate Universe's Green Goblin is actually Gwen Stacy? That's a cool idea.
Mic drop. That is a cool idea.
And Peter led to the death of Harry Osborn, making her go crazy, take the serum or the suit or whatever it takes. And then all of a sudden Gwen Stacy has Norman Osborn in her head. I'm just saying, there's something there, and it's a really cool idea. I think that's the way to go. No.
That's Sandman.
No, I'm processing. That's
No,
definitely,
that's a good
Yeah.
theory, dog. Like whoo. Now it's making me think about Doc Ock. What role would he?
What
play
if
in
Gwen Stacy kills Mary Jane? No.
Oh,
I still think Mary Jane's going to die more than the kids are because they're doing too much with the kids right now. But I think Mary Jane could still die at the end of this first major arc. So what if Gwen Stacy drops Mary Jane off the bridge? What if we still get that same moment, but it's Gwen Stacy throwing Mary Jane off,
wow.
and then Peter's got to go back and explain to his kids. Oh, and that's how you get Venom. That's why his son turns. That's why his son goes dark, and why the
Daddy
suit
didn't save mommy.
because Daddy didn't save Mommy.
Daddy
That's
wasn't
kind of weird.
there.
I feel like he's a little too old to be saying mommy, so that felt weird saying. But but in
Hey,
general,
there's grown men that say that.
that's true. That's true.
Daddy, never mind. Nope.
No, yeah, please stop. Please stop. But I will say, reinvigorated. I love
Yeah.
and his son. I do love the idea of his son becoming the new Venom, and I think that's a really cool way to do it.
Wow.
Whew, man.
Ultimate
I love
Wolverine
how
too,
each week we twist it and get new ideas.
because that's called good Hickman writing. That's what that
Yeah.
is.
And yet you say nothing about Sandman.
Because Sandman's great, but he does. I don't care.
Yeah, that was a really weird one-off.
No, it was a really cool way they did it. Like, I love the way that he was trapped there and he was kind of going crazy because he was constantly stuck in this moment in time where he couldn't keep himself together enough.
Yeah.
So it was cool, and I liked Richard Parker going, "Stop using my dad as a hammer." Because he was just banging him into the ground. So it was a good book, but the implications of Gwen Stacy, I think, are way more exciting. So this book was exciting because of its potential, I think, more than the reveals.
So it continues to be a must-read.
Yes. Yes.
It's still the top three. Gold goes to Spider-Man, silver goes to Wolverine, and then because it's just kind of on a downward swing right now, Black Panther at number 3. That's the ultimate.
Yeah.
That's
Ultimates,
ultimate
yeah.
top 3. But Wolverine this week, also really good. And now Wolverine starting to get his memories back. And boy, oh boy, I love Kitty Pryde. Spoiler alert, by the way, if I haven't said that. Love Kitty Pryde coming across Logan and trying to convince him who he is, and then gave him some of his memories back. I really love the old X-Men running into him. And who else made it?
Gambit. I
Dude.
love that they just call him the bow. The chess
LeBeau.
pieces?
So good. Leaving the chess piece grenades around.
Yes.
Dude, so good.
Oh,
Yeah,
man.
Ultimate Wolverine is still kicking.
And listen, I know what I don't know, but I hope I'm saying because I was about to say I know Gambit.
Everybody knows
Anyway,
what they know.
I hope Gambit sticks around long enough because I'm curious as to whether or not how powerful he is in the Ultimate Universe, because it wasn't until in one of his runs where he had to get his brain reattuned by Mr. Sinister so he could increase his power level again, which allowed him to then charge organic objects as well as set kind of like time charges. And
Was that New Sun Gambit? Is that what
that
his
was the
name
New
was?
Sun arc? Yeah.
Yeah, if you don't know New Sun Gambit, that's the one who can stop entire planets. Like that's Omega level Gambit. That dude's pretty wild. All right, well, let's talk about the two biggest books that dropped this week, other than the Ultimates and the Absolutes. Let's get into Batman territory, which is the whole reason I wore this hat. Let's go ahead and talk about Batman Hush 2.
Are we doing spoilers?
Yes, spoiler alert.
Yes,
Big
it's-
old spoiler.
Okay.
Spoiler
They're
alert for
always
comics.
a week.
Because
We reviewed last week.
Yep. So, because Hush 2 is not bad, but it's not the cash grab that everyone's screaming about, but it's not the greatest. It's not bad.
Not yet.
I feel like this first issue was a solid alley oop because I want to get what's next. Like,
Yes, 100%. This is a book I'm finishing no matter what. But I do love that former correspondent on the show, Mr. Maurer, was none too happy that they called it Hush 2 since there's like 30 other Hush books that came out before this one.
Yeah, he said
Good point.
there's Hush and Hush Returns, Heart of Hush, Hush Money,
Hush Money.
or House of Hush, and Batman Beyond, Hush Beyond.
And don't forget my favorite, hush your damn mouth.
He has for the last, year or so on the show.
I don't know. It just feels as though it's unnecessary. So when people say it's a cash grab, I get it for that. Anything I'm uber excited about. You know what I mean? Like, I'm happy that I picked it up. I'm happy to have actually read it, but it's not like I cannot wait for issue 2.
I hear you.
I'm way more excited for Last Halloween.
Really? But what? Okay, so spoiler alert. I have to say it again because I don't. But the possible death of the Joker didn't grab you?
It's the Joker. Possible death of the Joker. Dude's been dying and coming back for how long? You kidding me?
Yeah.
There was 3 of them not too long ago. We have
hated
Jokers
that
to
arc.
spare.
All I have to say is I'm still in it. I've been reading actual Batman now for probably the last year, so I'll continue to keep reading it. It's Batman.
It's Batman.
It
It's
is
good.
Batman,
It's good Batman. It's not bad Batman
Yeah.
by any means, but I will say
It's
Last
not-
Halloween
Last Halloween Batman, but it's
way better.
Batman.
Because like Last Halloween's big reveal with again, spoiler alert, with Robin getting shot in was it Crime Alley
Yeah.
or around Crime Alley? Awesome, awesome moment of that book, and I love that the way that they're bringing in the characters slowly, like in the first one. I like it. I like how they play with Mr. Freeze playing off of Two-Face. I liked Two-Face's wife. I like the fact that Harvey put a gun to his wife's head because she was like,
Yeah.
Harvey doesn't exist anymore. And I like the fact that she was like, no, he does, and tried to strangle him. Like she was, Mrs. Dent. You don't mess around with Mrs. Dent. But yeah, it's a good book. It's I feel like it is. It's not Batman Robin year 1. That's still the best to me. But this is number
Really?
2.
Well, yeah.
Yeah,
and
Batman Robin year 1
You
is
and
so
Lance
good.
are digging that one.
So good. All right. Well, I got a bunch of like throwaway books that were great, but not as important as the rest that we read. So I'll just rattle off mine, and you guys can throw in yours when we as we wrap things up. Spider Knot. Don't care. Don't care.
No.
Don't care
Was it
about that
good?
book. It's not bad. It wasn't a bad book at all. It didn't. I don't care about him turning into Juggernaut. Like I feel like this all led up to them going, and now Peter's the Juggernaut, and it's like I don't care.
And he still had 2 or 3 more trials left to do. We're not going to see them. I want to see the extra trials.
Yeah, and I like Siderac.
So-
Kind of has a new role of protecting the world from chaos magic. I thought that was kind of an interesting. He got Siderac to care. Well, I guess he didn't, but his daughter did. So having a scene where Siderac's actually talking, it's very rare you get Siderac talking. It's like if Scarlet Witch isn't involved, that mouth isn't opening. You know what I mean? But yeah, not a bad book, not a great book, just a book. You know what was turned out to be a lot better of a book than I expected it to be was Wolverine Revenge. The final
Really?
one of that. I remember how stupid the last one was when they were
Yeah.
friends together. And I was like, all right, this is dumb. Well, I'll tell you, Colossus's son, kind of awesome. Colossus's son has magic sword. So trained by magic, but with the powers of Colossus. And-
Magic's.
Yeah,
Magic, the character.
Magic the character,
Not a
yeah.
magic sword.
Well, he takes Wolverine into limbo to get his revenge and then locks him in there.
Oh.
So
Wow.
the spoiler alert, the book ends with Wolverine fighting till the end of his days in limbo because he led a life of vengeance.
Interesting.
Huh.
Yeah, so it's cool. He allows himself to lose at the hands of Colossus's son, so that way Colossus's son feels as though he got his vengeance and can move on. So he lied to him, saying his healing factor was gone, and then it kicks back in, but he's stuck in limbo now, and all these beings start attacking. I'm here now. So yeah, that was a fun book. Still kind of a dumb. It should have ended 2 issues ago, but not bad. Definitely not bad. Dick Tracy 8 was a lot of fun. Still loving Dick Tracy. Falling in Love on the Path to Hell 7. So happy that's back. That's been a lot of fun. The samurai and the sharpshooter or the cowboy in Purgatory. That's been a great book. But yeah, that was my reads. What else do we got?
X-Men 12 and X-Men Hunt.
Why am I
if you're an
shocked?
X-Men, only if you're an X-Men fan, you might want to pick up these books. But honestly, the X-Men Hunt storyline ended up being very disappointing. Very.
It's X-Men. Of course, it's disappointing.
Hey,
Lance couldn't make the show, but read that book and sent us a video about how bad Cyclops sucks.
and you're wrong, Lance.
Apparently
Cyclops does not suck.
Did he suck in those issues?
There is a very sucky moment for him in there,
Yeah,
but
so-
he doesn't suck.
So it turns out he
what
does.
you're
man.
saying is,
Turns out he does. All right, TMNT Naruto, that's the
Yes.
is that number 2 or 3?
Yes.
What are we at?
It's pretty fun. I think this is issue 3, I believe. But it's
Wouldn't
it's,
you know you read it?
I know, and I forgot
it's a
which number
number.
it was.
Yeah, I
But
forget which number I might have read. And it's not even if you were at number 45, I get it. But 2 or 3?
it's 3. It's 3 Feach.
thank you, because I can't remember how part 2.
I don't
ended, but
remember numbers.
It's still a fun
1, 2,
read.
10.
Shredder's in there, and the big reveal at the end is you see Shredder with the ooze. It's pretty cool. But now you have Naruto and the Turtles about to fight him.
I'm just very happy for you and your books that they exist and that you've got something to be excited for.
That's
'cause-
my line.
You're not really happy about Venti, are you?
But there's some very cool moments, like with the team up moves. And
For
that's
you,
awesome.
absolutely. Absolutely, and I'm happy they happened, and I'm happy you're happy. What's going on with Daredevil?
He's we're 19 issues into his battle with the 7 deadly sins still.
That's still going
but
on?
Finally, it's still going on. There's one more issue, but finally we got a kind of a big moment where he had to make a choice. I won't say exactly
Heaven
what
or
that
hell?
choice was. Well, he had to choose between saving someone out of 2 different people, and yeah, I'm not going to say exactly who, but it's Daredevil. Daredevil's kind of hot right now. It's a decent book. I would
Daredevil's so hot.
So hot.
if you
Daredevil,
haven't been
so
reading
hot.
it, then probably don't until 21. This wraps up.
Yeah,
issue
but I'll
20.
say that issue where he fights Wolverine, when Wolverine's taken over by rage.
Yeah.
Like, remember how dumb it was when She-Hulk was Gluttony? And you're like, all right, that was stupid. And then
Yeah.
they followed it right up with Rage and Wolverine. I'm like, that was one of the best Daredevil issues I've read in a long time.
Yeah.
Oh, you know
There's
what
some
comes out
gems
this
in there.
week?
What's that?
Old Man Daredevil.
Oh.
Yeah. Old Man Daredevil's this week. Very excited. 60-year-old Matt. And did you hear Charlie Cox got so excited when he found out this book was coming out because he was like, I get to play Daredevil until like I'm dead. This is great.
He's great. I forgot how great he is.
Yeah.
Yeah, no,
All
he's awesome.
their interviews are so good.
Yeah.
So good. But anything else that's coming out that you guys are excited about? Like
Huey, what do we have on tap? What's
Aside from Absolute Green Lantern,
Absolute Green Lanterns. That's the big one. I'm done with Ultimate X-Men. Don't even ask me. I'm not reviewing it. We're finished with Ultimate X-Men.
a little more Superman?
Absolute
Absolute
yeah, Absolute
Superman.
Superman, absolutely.
all day. All day.
Miles. Yeah.
Yeah.
Little Thor still going on.
Wait, is that Batgirl, Cassandra Cain?
Yes.
Looks like
It looked like it was. That's cool. That could be cool. Moon
Yeah,
Knight,
Moon Knight.
I'll definitely be getting Moon Knight. That's been a lot of fun. I'm done with Deadpool for right now.
Oh, look at this.
picking up
All new
Cyrus.
Venom. Oh.
Forget all new Venom. Daredevil, Cold Day in Hell. There it is.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
There
So
it is.
those of you
That's
just listening to the podcast, we're kind of just looking through and seeing what's
what you
coming
need
out.
to go buy. Go to the
Yeah.
shop. Go- listen to this on the way and go pick up your pull list. And
West
stop doing
Coast
that to your shop.
Avengers.
Yeah, I don't
I dropped
care.
off of that.
I did too.
Wolverine.
Marvel. Oh, Marvel
I might
Rivals
pick that up.
is going to tie into the video game.
I like the artwork. I'll pick it up because I like the character designs too.
No way. It's tying into the video game.
It's going to tell you how the video game started, basically.
Oh, there we go. You talk about pointless cash grab that I'm still going to get. Deadpool kills the Marvel Universe again.
One last time.
Well, one and Illustrated were great. 2's kind of dumb, but hey, maybe they pull it back for 3. I'll
We
watch
got
him
what?
kill him again. Although he did a
Thunder-
bad job if he's killed them twice.
nothing.
Sam
Yeah.
Twitch.
Yeah.
Hornsby and Halo.
No.
People love that.
Now we're getting
Really?
into the stuff.
Yeah.
Oh, Bad Batch is coming out. I could care less, but that's issue 2.
Yep.
That's issue 2.
G.I.
There's a new
Joe.
G.I. Joe #1. What is this? Which G.I. Joe is this? Is this something I should care about?
It's Beachheads.
No.
Who the hell's Beachhead?
But this is or no, it is.
I think this is-
this is Image. Sorry, not Skybound.
Well, it's Skybound. It's got the Skybound logo
is
under the
Skybound.
Image logo.
So we're
It
getting
does.
Beachhead before we get, because I know Gung Ho and Spirit are coming out. I didn't know Beachhead was coming out.
Well, they don't use that logo for the actual book. You know what I mean? Like, they don't use that standard G.I. Joe logo, I thought.
Silent Mission.
Silent Missions is the tie-ins for the.
That's
The new one?
what it is.
But it's
I
a time.
think
But it
it
said it's a
is.
standalone issue.
Well, we
Is
haven't
that
got the
They're
ninjas
doing
yet. Scarlet's not there, for damn
Dude.
sake.
When the ninjas drop, give me Storm Shadow and Snake Eyes all day. That's what I'm waiting for.
Give me Scarlet.
Well,
Son of
bring
a
Scarlet
bitch.
back. Yes. What happened to that?
I'll have to check. I'll have to deep dive more into that GI Joe book
Yeah.
to see if that's a tie-in or not.
I think this is about time to wrap it up. I feel as though my internet's about to go because we're getting hit with a torrential storm right now.
Yeah.
So we might lose power.
Yeah.
So on that note, I need to wrap this up because my camera keeps freezing. So if you enjoy the show, please go over to thatcomicpodcast.com. You will find Baby Huey's toy reviews. You'll find our shop over there. You'll also find the show post if you've never actually seen it. Please also head over to our YouTube. That is our new big bang. That's our new big to-do. That is what Moshko spends most of his time doing.
Yes.
So go over and help support us
Thank
grow
you,
on our
Moshko.
YouTube. That's
Yep,
been a
yep.
blast. It's really
Subscribe.
fun seeing how people are responding to the videos. I can't believe that Tara sent us a picture of us on her TV. That was
Yeah.
pretty funny. That was pretty funny. But yeah, so love what we're seeing so far. Love the fact that people are watching. We're getting a lot more views than we have been because we are on a lot more platforms. So you can also find us on TikTok because of Baby Huey. You can also find us on X now, way more active because of Lance. So there's a lot more happening on our socials. You have reasons to go find us on all. And I believe we are going to be doing a YouTube only show this week for CinemaCon. So be on the lookout
That's
for
the
that
plan.
as well.
Unless Disney and WB say nothing.
Yeah, if that's true, then there's no
But,
reason to do it. But
yeah,
then go to
probably
our
will.
Twitter /X, and we will let you know if there is going to be one there. Once again, I'm Menti.
Moshko.
And I'm Features.
I'm Huey. Deuces.
Excelsior.
Buzz says bye.
Bye, Buzz.
That's that.